Sonic runs throughout Green Hills until he arrives to Tails' workshop. "Hey Tails, can you open up?" Sonic yells out. Tails opens the garage door. "Hey Sonic, long time no see, huh?" Tails says. Sonic sees Knuckles bench, pressing 680 pounds with one arm. Sonic says, "Didn't know you had company." "Hey Sonic," Knuckles yells out. Knuckles puts the bench presser down and walks toward Sonic. Knuckles says to Sonic, "How about you and me train together?" Sonic says, "I never back down from a challenge." Tails interrupts by saying Amy was coming in 5 minutes. Sonic changes the conversation by saying, "How about we go to the chili dog shop?" Tails says to Sonic, "Well, I have some chili dogs in the freezer if you like." Knuckles tells Tails that he already ate them. Both Sonic and Tails look at Knuckles. Sonic, Tails, and Knuckles all talk on the couch, having a good time. "Hey guys." Everyone looks back. Sonic sees Amy and says, "Oh boy, here we go again." Amy's eyes widen as soon as she saw Sonic. Knuckles says, "Look at your girlfriend, Sonic." Sonic punches Knuckles. "How have you been, Sonic?" Amy says. "Amy, you saw me yesterday." Tails says, "How about we watch a movie?" "Yeah, a scary one," Knuckles says. Sonic responds with, "Sure, I don't mind." Everyone sits down on the couch watching Venom. Amy thought she was sitting with Sonic and put her head on Knuckles' shoulder without knowing. She looks up at Knuckles and screams, then punching him in the face. "What the heck, Amy?" "Sorry, Knuckles." They hear a big boom outside. Sonic, Tails, Knuckles, and Amy all exit out of Tails' workshop. "Egghead again," Sonic says. They all rush to Eggman. Well, look what we have here. Sonic and his pathetic friends trying to stop the almighty robotic." Sonic says, "You do realize that we beat you every time. No matter what toy you throw at us, you won't be able to defeat us." "Oh really?" Eggman says in a cocky expression. "Now!" Eggman yells. Metal Sonic flips over Eggman. Metal Sonic dashes at Tails and sends him to the ground. Sonic and Knuckles both attack Metal Sonic, but Metal Sonic deflects their attack. Amy and Metal Sonic starts fighting each other. Amy swings her hammer, but Metal Sonic dodges and punches her in her stomach. Sonic gets up and spin dashes at Metal Sonic, but Metal Sonic catches Sonic. Sonic stumbled back saying, "Looks like my cheap imitation got stronger, huh? But between you and me, I'd win." Metal uppercuts Sonic, but he deflects. Sonic slammed Metal Sonic to the ground, but Metal Sonic kicks Sonic with both of his legs in the face. Metal Sonic gets up and slams Sonic on the ground, then putting his foot on Sonic's head. Knuckles attacks at Metal Sonic, but Metal Sonic dodges all of Knuckles' attacks. Knuckles gets sent back. He gets back up and is about to continue the fight, but Sonic pushes him over. Sonic says, "Knuckles, let me finish this." Knuckles nods. Tails asks Amy, "What is Sonic doing?" Amy replies, "I don't know. Sonic and Metal have a stare-off. Metal Sonic attack first, but Sonic evades them with his quick speed. Metal Sonic and Sonic clash all around Earth. Metal Sonic slams Sonic into a giant rock. Metal Sonic tries to punch Sonic, but Sonic grabs Metal's fist and headbutts him. Sonic was able to land 78 punches in half a second. Metal falls to the ground. Sonic thinks he beat him, but Metal gets the upper hand. Metal Sonic uses maximum overdrive attack on Sonic. Sonic coughs out blood from the attack. As Metal Sonic was about to win the fight, Amy slammed Metal Sonic with her hammer. Metal Sonic is shocked. Amy yells out, "Tails now!" Tails shoots his laser gun at Metal Sonic, shutting him down. Eggman is in disbelief. "Now it's your turn, Egghead!" Sonic yells to Eggman. Eggman says, "Prepare for war, Sonic. This time won't be in your favor." Eggman flies away with his flying machine. Everyone looks at each other. Knuckles says, "I think that was a threat." Tails notices that Eggman didn't take Metal Sonic with him. Tails says, "I have a bad idea." Everyone surrounds Metal Sonic. Tails says, "Just with a bit of fixing and reorganizing, I think Metal Sonic would be a good asset for our team." Amy disagrees, saying, "What if he betrayed us?" Tails responds with, "So you think I've never invented or changed things?" Amy says, good point." Sonic and Knuckles are reluctant of this idea. Knuckles says, "You do realize this is Eggman's sidekick, right?" Sonic agrees and says, "Metal Sonic has tried to kill me, and us on multiple occasions." Tails says, "Even though this is a risk, it's worth taking." Everyone goes to Tails' workshop to discuss what Eggman's intentions could be. They know from past battles they can often be pushed, but they win at the end. Amy states that they don't know what Eggman's all-out looks like. Sonic tells everyone they need all the help they need. Tails suggests that they should get everyone together. Everyone agrees. Sonic says, "Who are we going to recruit first?" Tails responds, "Probably the Chaotix, they're the closest." Everyone nods and they leave. Eggman is in his lab. He walks towards a chamber with someone inside it. A ruby shines through the glass. Eggman takes out all the water in the tank. The glass around Eggman shatters. Someone familiar walks out. Infinite the Jackal. Infinite says, "Good to be back." Infinite looks at Eggman and says, "You obviously want something, that's most likely why you brought me back here." Eggman says, "I need your help." "For what?" Infinite responds. Eggman says, "I wants to end Sonic, but as embarrassing this is to say, I can't beat him and his friends alone. To rule the world, I need to defeat Sonic, but for that, I need a team. So what do you say, my old friend?" Infinite responds with, "Sure, why not?" Infinite says, "There's this tribe on Caliber Island. The tribe leader is a legend. He might even be stronger than Sonic himself." Eggman says to Infinite, "You still haven't noticed yet." Infinite says, "Noticed what?" Eggman says, "I multiplied the Phantom Ruby's power by 35%. Infinite stands shocked. Infinite chuckles. "Good to be back," Infinite says. Knuckles opens the Chaotix door. Vector looks up. Vector says, What are you guys doing here?" Espio opens his eyes from meditating. "Hey, Vector, we need you guys' help," Knuckles says. Sonic, Amy, Tails, and Knuckles tells Vector why they need their help. Vector says, "I understand you need our help, but if you want our help, you're gonna have to pay a fee." Amy says, "A fee? What do you mean a fee? You helped us on many other occasions. What makes it difficult now?" Charmy rushes through the door. Vector, we got mail." Charmy yells. "Oh, hey, Sonic," Charmy says. Vector gets up from his chair. "We got mail?" Vector says, surprised. Tails asks, "How much is the fee?" Charmy says, $87. Everyone says, "What?" Sonic says, "Why can't you just help us for free?" Vector tells Sonic, "To keep a roof over our heads." Espio gets up and tells Vector, "Everyone is right, helping them is the right thing to do. They obviously need our help." Charmy says, "Calendar Island," Vector says. "Huh?" Charmy says, "Check for yourself." Vector takes the mail from Chammy's hand. Vector says, "Charmy, you read it wrong, it says Caliber Island." Espio said, "Caliber Island. That's a world-renowned ninja village. I wouldn't go there if I were you." Knuckles says, "You guys can live in Tails' workshop." Tails whispers to Knuckles, "I don't want them to live in my workshop." Tails says, "Sorry, I don't have enough room for all of us." Amy suggests they make a hideout. They all agree to help with the build. Eggman and Infinite go into Eggman's hoverjet to go to Caliber Island. Eggman and Infinite finally arrive at Caliber Island. As soon as they land, arrows get shot at them. Infinite gets out of the hoverjet and decimates the tribe members. Eggman gets out of the hoverjet. "All right, Infinite, let's go into the village," Eggman says. When Eggman and Infinite start walking toward the village, they are attacked by swordsmen. Infinite dashes right to them. Infinite grabs one of their swords and stabs them. 5 other swordsmen attacked Infinite, but they are quickly eliminated. More swordsmen attack Infinite. They all swing their swords at Infinite, but Infinite smoothly evades all of their attacks. Infinite uses a shockwave to eliminate them all. Infinite sees a temple, assuming that's where the leader is. Eggman and Infinite make their way there. 3 more swordsmen are blocking the way. They are the elite ninjas. As Infinite is about to attack them, a blizzard suddenly appears out of nowhere. All 3 swordsmen talk in a different language. Infinite uses his gravity manipulation to absolutely slaughter them. Infinite spits on the ground saying, "Oh, how I hate weaklings." A mysterious figure walks out the temple. Winds start blowing at incredible speeds. Eggman, about to be sent flying because of the severe wind, gets saved by Infinite. The tribe leader summons his trident and leaps straight towards Infinite. Infinite pushes him back by making a shockwave. It starts snowing, but not the friendly type. Sharp ice particles start falling from the sky. Infinite maneuvers around the ice particles and shoots energy beams at the tribe leader. The tribe leader gets hit with most of them. As the tribe leader tries to regain balance, Infinite slams the leader onto the ground. Infinite lets go. Infinite moves back. Chaos appears in front of Infinite. Infinite transfers the power of the Phantom Ruby to Chaos, turning Chaos to perfect Chaos. Chaos roars. The tribe leader, looking up, looks stressed. The tribe leader says, "Damn creatures." Chaos slams its arm onto the ground. The tribe leader narrowly invades the attack. The tribe leader jumps up and slashes Pure Chaos. The tribe leader does thunder techniques at Pure Chaos. The tribe leader makes the weather absolute hell. The tribe leader and Chaos clash, making a 6.8 magnitude earthquake. Millions of pounds of water crash on the island. The tribe leader pushes the water back, saving the island. The tribe leader clenches all of his power in his fist and destroys Chaos. Chaos for some reason disintegrated with purple highlights. The tribe leader doesn't realize what's happening. Infinite teleports on top of him and slammed him onto the ground. The tribe leader hits the ground out of breath. The tribe leader shakes because how powerful that hit was. Infinite lands on the ground. Infinite says, I despise the weak, but I know you are not weak. Raise your head, I have a opportunity for you. The tribe leader replied with, what do you want from me? Infinite says, you can join us, or I will end you pathetic little life where you stand. The tribe leader says, you destroyed my turf, my people and my honor. I shall never join you. How unfortunate, Infinite says. Infinite changes up a energy blast. The tribe leader remembers the last ever time he talked to his father. His father said 5 final words to him. Live a long, prosperous life. Infinite was about to shoot the tribe leader says, okay, I'll join your little cult or whatever. Infinite smiles. Eggman says, guys, we gotta go. Infinite says, I haven't gotten your name. The tribe leader says, Nikushimi. Then he follows Eggman into his hover jet. Tails draws the way the hideout will look like. Knuckles says, this looks a bit tricky. Sonic responds with, you have the fast person in the planet, I can do this. Vector is on a phone call with the government. The government says to Vector to investigate Caliber Island. Vector tries to decline the offer, but the government pushes him to go. Vector agrees and hangs up. Espio says, who was that? Vector says, get Charmy, we have to go. Knuckles says, where are you guys going? Vector says, you can come if you want. The Sonic squad looks at each other in a confused expression. 15 minutes go by, and they enter into a ship shop. Sonic says, why are we here? Vector says, we have to go overseas. We have to investigate Caliber Island because something happened, I guess. Charmy says, let's go, boss. Everyone goes in the ship and goes out to sea. Everyone arrives at Caliber Island. It's a mess. Espio says, what happened here? They investigate the island. No people at all, just destruction. Amy says, are you sure this island isn't like abandoned or anything? Espio responds with, I have no idea. Vector and Tails looks further into the island. They find a mother and a child. Vector asks the mother questions, but the mother doesn't speak their language. Knuckles finds jewelry inside the temple. The island's sinking. The island cracks in half. Everyone rushes to the ship. As they get on the ship, the island crumbles into the ocean. Knuckles says, at last I got jewelry. Everyone looks at him. Vector says, jewelry? Knuckles and Vector fight over the jewelry. The ship begins to shake. Espio begins to sense something. Sonic checks the water. There's a sea monster. The sea monster splashes up from the water. It roars at Sonic. Sonic runs around it, confusing the monster. Sonic runs so fast he can run on water. Knuckles jumps off the ship and punches the sea monster's throat, sending it back into the ocean. Sonic and Knuckles return back on board as everyone cheers. Tails says, once we get back, we should start building our hideout. Eggman and the others arrive on a planet that has lots wild life. As soon as they land, all types of bugs are on their ship. Nikushimi hops out the ship and sweeps some away. Eggman says, be careful, guys. There might be dangerous animals. Infinite and Nikushimi talk, but it doesn't last long. Nikushimi says, don't think we are allies. I was forced into this cult. I don't forgive you for killing my people. Infinite responds with, maybe if your people didn't attack us first, then they could have survived. Nikushimi says, you infiltrated my island. People who infiltrate island never get second chance. If not for your minion, then I might have one. Infinite responds to Nikushimi with, that minion of mine doesn't even have half my strength. Nikushimi says, sure. Infinite senses Eggman getting attacked by large animals. Infinite says, follow. Nikushimi and Infinite rush towards the animals. Nikushimi strikes the animals with his trident, and Infinite crushes them with gravity manipulation. Eggman sighs of relief. A little mouse attacks at Nikushimi, but Nikushimi blows it away. The mouse hits the ground. For some reason, it turns more into a monster. It attacks Nikushimi, but Nikushimi dodges. Infinite begins to fight it. Infinite makes the mouse overwhelmed because of his virtual reality manipulation. The mouse wakes back up and viciously attacks at Infinite. Infinite invades all of its attacks. Other animals come behind Infinite, but are quickly dealt with by Nikushimi. Infinite gets the mouse into an arm lock. Infinite says, you're quite strong. What do you say about joining us? Nikushimi says, he can't speak American. The mouse exclaims, I can talk, you bums. But joining you guys can't hurt. Sonic and everyone is building their hideout. It's nearly finished. Sonic decides to finish the build with his immense speed. Sonic says, all right guys, it's finished. Everyone looks around, proud of their work. The hideout is huge. It has a living room, a huge kitchen, 10 bedrooms, a training room. Everything they need is there. It took them around 2 days to build. 4 hours go by, and they are eating dinner. Tails says, I think we should recruit Blaze and Sliver next. Vector disagrees with Tails and says, they're in the future. How are we supposed to get there? Tails says, easy, a time machine. You do realize who you're talking to, right? Knuckles says, I can't go, I have to protect the Master Emerald. Tails says, all right, any objections? And yes, Vector, you're coming. Charmy says, yay. We get to see the future. Espio says to Charmy, it's not the future you expected, Charmy. The room goes silent. Tails says, well, all right. We're out the door tomorrow. Eggman and his group are about to leave the planet, Minako says. They're another one on this planet that you might seek interest on, Master. Eggman says, who is this someone? They walk through a very dangerous forest. There's a giraffe about to attack until he sees Minako. Hey Minako, the giraffe says. Minako says, Hero, how would you feel about joining us? Hero says, I don't know. Minako says, are you sure? We're going on many cool adventures. Hero says, ooh, count me in. Nikushimi says, that was quite easy. Infinite says, we got a good find, he doesn't look too bad on the physical outlook. Now with that said, Eggman officially has 4 members in his organization. It is now the next day back on Earth. Everyone packs food, water, and other supplies. Knuckles is there to say farewell. Knuckles says, make sure you come back with cool stories. Sonic smirks at Knuckles. Yeah, we will, Sonic says. Sonic and Knuckles does their handshake. Charmy says, don't forget my tablet. Vector says, we're not bringing your damn tablet. Charmy says, aw, okay, with a sad expression. Espio grabs his sword. Knuckles says, that's a fancy one, huh? Espio replies with, yes, it is indeed. My sensei gave it to me. Oh, cool, Knuckles says. Amy says to Sonic, did you really forget the time machine capsule? Sonic says, I thought Tails grabbed it. Shoot. Amy says, don't worry, I have it right here. Sonic sighs of relief. Amy gives it to Sonic. Sonic says, I think you should give that to Tails. Amy says, yeah, that sounds like the smart thing to do. Tails uses the time capsule and a portal reveals itself. Knuckles says, whoa. As they are about to walk through the portal, Knuckles says, guys. Everyone looks back at Knuckles. Make sure you come back safe. Everyone nods. Everyone walks through the portal. Knuckles stands there in silence. Knuckles says, good luck, guys, then walks away.